Good afternoon. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you to yet another edition of the Wednesday Wisdom by BW Education. We are doing this in the backdrop of a new education policy, which also envisages a new role for teachers who are really the nurturers of their right and true potential. Today we have a teacher par excellence, Mr. Gurdial Saroop Saini, who is now an education officer retired from the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan (KVS). But he's been a star teacher. He has nurtured many students. A lot of his students are doing very well in their profession. So let me start by asking Mr. Gurdial Saroop Saini, first of all, welcome to the BW Education Wednesday Wisdom. And let me start.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to be with you and through you to so many other listeners. A rare opportunity for me.
Thank you.
Memorable day in my life. Thank you very much.
You're very kind. And let me ask you, how have been the last 200 days, odd days for you? How has been the COVID lockdown? How have you kept yourself personally and professionally busy?
Actually, Mr. Batra, I'm an introvert person these days. I have withdrawn from many worldly affairs, and really, I tell you, I had not been out of my house for the last almost 6 months. The nearest township is about 2 kilometers away from my village, and I have hardly gone even to that township. So most of the time, I have been busy in plantation, tree plantation, doing something for the beautification of the environment and trying to develop a park in a village which people will hardly imagine, but now that efforts of mine are giving results and people have started appreciating me and the plantation done by me, and the people who are passing through that passage, they really get good oxygen, beautiful environment, and appreciate my efforts. That way I have made full use of these 6 months with your good wishes.
That's very nice. You contributed to environment, you contributed to clean air. And dare I say, like in your school, in your teaching, in your academy, you nurtured students. You're now still nurturing plants which will grow on to become trees who give us shades. Let me shift gears and ask you about, first of all, the new education policy came out 3 months back. It envisages a very ambitious plan, and rightly so, in terms of reforming the education ecosystem. Tell us what can be done to improve the lot of teachers. Why do you believe the role of a teacher is so pivotal to developing the leaders of tomorrow in any field?
Mr. Batra, I have firm opinion that unless we improve the lot of the teacher, no system can improve, no system can survive, I should say. But I'm really sorry to say that most of the teachers in most of the state schools, they are not willing to improve, they are not willing to change. My good luck, and that gives me happiness, that we have wonderful teachers in Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, which is again a government organization. We had some period during which KVS was not doing well, and it was not because of the teachers, but because of the management and the leadership. Now when we have good management, good leadership at the higher level, our teachers are really wonderful and they are giving wonderful results. difficult to believe that KBS has been giving consistently 99% result, 100% result, never less than 95% in the last so many years. And our students, they are really gems. They are leaders in different fields, all because of the system and because of the teacher and the pains the teacher take to develop their students, nurture them through their personal role and through their love and affection with the students. They are giving really wonderful results. But uh, I feel sad to say sometimes because I have this thing in my nature to go to different schools and see the working, but state schools, I'm sorry to say, they are not doing well. That is our misfortune, I should say.
Thank you, Mr. Saini, for being so honest. That improvement needs to be done, and the heart of the education are two stakeholders, the teacher and the student. So the lot of the student can only be improved by improving the lot of teachers. If we improve the lot of teachers, everything else will get improved. Uh, Now, let me ask you this question specifically. What do you think can be done to improve the lot of teachers? What can the government do? What can the HRD ministry do? What can the civil society do to make sure that teachers are able to perform their role of nurturing students in a better way? How do we support the teachers? How do we nurture the teachers? By giving them more respect, by giving more remuneration, by making sure that they have direct impact on students. What shall be done, Mr. Saini?
I feel in each Kendriya Vidyalayas are serving, Kendriya Vidyalayas are there in different parts of India, and almost in all big cities we have so many Kendriya Vidyalayas. If state governments can see the working of Kendriya Vidyalaya and adopt their method of teaching, their working, their syllabus, their routine, their system of working in all their schools, in all government, state schools of government, the things can improve drastically. What I'm saying is, Kendriya Vidyalaya should work as model schools, and the schools, government schools, other schools around those Kendriya Vidyalayas should emulate the working of Kendriya Vidyalayas and adopt in their own system. The system will improve drastically. Regarding the remuneration and the respect for the teachers, Mr. Batra, it gives me this thing. I can't express my feeling in words. Teachers are the so very well paid in the society at present, especially the state government. State government teachers are paid so well in comparison with other other employees of equivalent rank. So remuneration, I don't think is an issue. Government is already paying them handsomely. What is required is the this thing true will of the government and giving priority to education. Funds are already there. Money is not a problem. The will and the willpower of the government that proper education system should be developed, I suppose that is where we lack.
You're saying we have to be more ambitious in what we wish to achieve, and then have the willpower to be able to achieve that. Set
Yes.
more audacious goals, for example, in the gross enrollment ratio, set up more goals in terms of overall holistic learning of the child, improve the infrastructure of schools, because Corona has created a digital divide. In government schools, there is an issue of access as well as connectivity. So the digital divide must be bridged. Now, let me ask you this question. Mr. Saini, in a class, there are lots of students. And for a teacher, all the students are equal. You give your equal love, affection, caring, and academic inputs to all the students. But what makes you spot students early on? When you're like a cricket coach who, I mean, let me give you an example of Mr. Paranjpe in Bombay. He's a great cricket coach. He spotted Sachin at 16 and made sure that Sachin played for India. At 16, there was a Pakistan tour, and the selector said, "ये छोटा है और इसको ball लगेगी." And the legendary Mr. Paranjpe said, "ये ball लगने वाला नहीं है, ये ball लगाने वाला है." And basis his past record of the coach, they selected Tendulkar. They selected Anil Kumble. I can go on. So coaches are teachers. Teachers can nurture. They can spot good talent. Tell us, how do you spot good talent? Is there a playbook to that? Is there thumb rules to that?
I feel when we enter the classroom, the response, the reaction which we see on the faces of the children, they reflect their inner self to us. Just by seeing a child, we can make out what inner strength he has, what potential he has. I'll give you one example. I was a senior teacher in KB number 1 Air Force Station, Pathankot. The principal allotted me class 9th. I was made the class teacher of class 9th, whereas I was teaching 11th and 12th. He made me class teacher of 9th. I went to that class. I saw Vidyanathan sitting over there.
You're talking about Mr. V. Vidyanathan,
Yes,
chairman of the Capital First Bank.
Yes. I made him the monitor of that class. I don't know why I made him the monitor. I said he will be the monitor of my class 9th. Then one incident again reminds me. One day it was in my nature not to sit during working hours in the school for all the 6.5 hours and 7 hours. I will never sit, not even lunch, not in the classroom, not during recess, not in the canteen when I'm taking tea. I'll never sit. That was my principle. And in the free period, I'll keep taking round of the school. That was in my nature. So one day I saw that there is a lot of noise in that 9th class. I entered the class. The students, all of them, they stood up. I don't know why and how. Just on entering, I gave a tight slap on the face of this Mr. Vidyanathan, my monitor. He could not understand what has happened. It was so tight a slap so then I asked him, "Are you the monitor of this class?" He said, "Yes, sir." "Are you minding the class? Are you really monitoring the class?" He kept mum. Then I told him, Next time, I should not see that this thing should happen, that there is disorder in the class when the teacher is not there. No. Next thing is very important. After the class, he came to me. Sir, I'm trying my best, but I am not in a position to control the class. There are very notorious 2, 3 boys. They don't obey anything to whatsoever I said. I told him that if you will keep on saying, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, does it has any meaning? Will they obey you? Then he said, sir, what should I do then? I told him, you do one thing. You prepare a lesson in maths, a lesson better than I deliver in the class. Simple, you write down all difficult formulas, write down on the blackboard, ask all the students, give the answer of these formulas, ask them to write it on their notebook, keep them busy in something constructive. This is a lesson for you. If you want discipline in the class, keep them engaged in something constructive. Then only they will learn. What gives me happiness, after that, he not only prepared a lesson in maths, he prepared a lesson in almost all subjects. Whenever English teacher is not there, he has a lesson in English with a test type lesson which will give to the whole class, and the class will be busy. Social study lesson 1, it will be ready. Anytime teacher is not there, he will deliver that lesson or will keep the students engaged. What I'm saying is, we really have good students who are willing to learn, willing to improve, willing to obey, and give respect to the teacher. They are not reactionary. Students basically are so good. Requirement is that we need to give them proper guidance. That is where the role of the teacher is. He should act as a friend, he should act as a philosopher, he should act as a guide. When required, he should be a little harsh, which is not acceptable, but students understand so well that is it for my welfare that the teacher is not so happy with me. They will appreciate, they will appreciate you. They will always appreciate you. If there is a problem in the system, it is because of the teacher, never because of the student. That is my firm belief.
Thank you so much. And you were proved right. That student of yours was able to manage the class and you prepare. So your faith in him, actually he was honest and he took what you told him very seriously and he made it happen. And if you look at that student's life, he's gone on to become one of the most celebrated entrepreneurs in the financial services domain. And he is now dreaming even more audaciously to build a bank to a different level over the next 5 years. Now, talking on this student, he also, when you started your coaching, he was the first student you enrolled. Why did you enroll him?
No, that was selfishness on my part, actually. I don't have any hesitation in accepting that. He was a disciplined child. He was punctual. I was very sure he will obey me and he will follow literally to what I will say, and he will definitely make it in the competitive exam in his first attempt. So my investment of not charging anything from him It will repay me back many times as advertisement that yes, Mr. Saini has produced such a wonderful boy who cleared NDA in his first attempt. With that objective, I took that decision.
Thank you so much. So clearly that early move and early phase paid off. Now let me shift to there's a new education policy. Now it talks about multi-disciplinary training, right? It talks about flexible curricula. It talks about use of technology. It talks about higher gross enrollment ratios. What do you think are the top three things that at a policy level can be done to realize the true potential of educators and students?
I have been interested in knowing about the education policy because new education policy of 1986 was framed during the time we were in service. We had been discussing that and organizing many seminars to make the teachers conversant with that policy. That policy has really shifted gear from teaching to learning. That was one thing. Another was emphasis is more on overall development of the child. It is not bookish knowledge only are only the academics which are important. One very important aspect of the policy is feeling of nationalism in the students, feeling of patriotism in the students, feeling that we are there, we are going to the society to serve the society. For that, we need to develop good human beings. We need to lay emphasis on overall development of the child, multidisciplinary approach. Students who are exposed to the latest happenings and motivate them to be a useful citizens. That is the this thing most important aspect of the society, new education policy to contribute for the development of the society, patriotism, nationalism. That is the key point in the new education policy, and we really should appreciate this and implement this in the true spirit. It will take time. It will take time for people to appreciate, but it is really worth appreciation.
Thank you so much. Now, Kiran Basa is asking, Mr. Saini, congratulations for the great contribution that you have done as a teacher and a great inspiration for many more. And how you are so keen in spending your time influencing the society with your kind gestures toward nature. Kiran is asking you, what is the one thing that everyone should follow to nurture themselves at a younger age, and how the teacher should influence the student so that when they grow up, they can contribute much more to the society?
One quality a teacher must have is have faith in all their students. Have faith in all their students. They have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential. If the student is failing somewhere, it's not because of the lackness, some deficiency in the student. It is because of the teacher, the environment, the society that the student is not doing well. I'll give you one example. When I was principal of KB IOC Baroni
In Bihar.
in Bihar, my mission statement was, and that we used to say daily in the assembly, that no student of this KB will fail, right from 1 up to 12th. Right from 1 up to 12th, there will be no failure in the school. And it took us 2-3 years to achieve that motive, to achieve that mission, but we were successful. All students, right from 12th. Generally, what is happening is that to show good results in 10th and 12th, many students are detained in 9th and 11th. I ensured that there will be no detention in any class right from 1 up to 12th, because I had the firm faith that every child is born with at least this much of gift that he can be successful after a labor of 1 year, provided that teachers are really putting in labor to deliver properly in the classroom.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saini. Now, when you compare the students of today with the students of yesterday, let's say in the last 30, 40 years, what is the change you find? And when you compare the teachers of today with the teachers of yesterday like you, what is the change you find?
Student lot, I feel that they are much more smarter now. They have, their exposure is so much, many times more than what it was few years back.
Sure.
Some of them know better than what the teacher knows, that students are updating them continuously, and that way our teachers are not so fast in cope up with the requirement of the students of today.
Okay.
Previously, say in our time, there was not much exposure to the students. Students were depending mostly on the knowledge which is given to them in the classroom. But our good luck that we had good teachers that time. Money was, they were never materialistic, and they were acting more as guru and guiding their students, putting in, giving their love and affection to the students. That is the a change which I find.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you, Ketan Sharma is asking you, how did you find Mr. Vaidyanathan after 30 years? Ketan, the true story is that Mr. Vaidyanathan found Mr. Saini. I remember he telling me that he looked for him and he figured out he is settled well, and he sent 2 of his colleagues. They talked to him and he found him. But let's hear the story from Mr. Saini.
Actually, I left Pathankot in 93, where I was a math teacher, and he passed out 12th in 1986 from that institution. After that, he was not in my contact. I suppose 4 or 5 years back, I don't know, I remember exactly, I got a call from my school my old school Pathankot, and one teacher called me that some employee of ICICI Bank have come to the school to know about your telephone number. Give it to them. That time I was in Agra, so I told them, you give their telephone number. There should be no harm. So after that, I came to know that Mr. Vaidyanathan deputed some employee of ICICI Bank that you go to Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Air Force Station, Pathankot, find out where Mr. Saini is. During the first attempt, they couldn't, the clerk and the people to whom those employees met could not give my telephone number and address. They went again, inquired again, and could get my telephone number. That teacher might be knowing my number and my location. Then after that, I got a surprise call from Mr. Vaidyanathan. Then he said, "Sir, you remember me?" I said, Vaidyanathan, difficult to recollect after so many years. You tell something more about you. then he told me, "Sir, I was there in KV number 1 Pathankot, and I was your student, and now I am so well placed. I thought I must remember you and give you the good news that I am so very well placed in life." This is how I came to know about Mr. Vaidyanathan, or he could find me out that where exactly I am now.
Right. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Vaidyanathan found you, and I also want to tell our readers that Mr. Vaidyanathan, who is a student of Mr. Saini, was gifted about 1 lakh shares of the Capital First Bank. Now it's called the IDFC First Bank. And Ketan Sharma is telling Mr. Saini, please don't sell the shares. It's a great bank. I agree with you, Mr. Saini. I think the best years of the IDFC First Bank are ahead of it. I want to ask my last question, Mr. Saini. More than anything, it's the respect, affection. I mean, shares are welcome. But when an ex-student who has done so well in life remembers you and expresses his genuine appreciation and affection for the nurturing he got from you, how did you feel? I remember calling you on the weekend. I had such a positive interaction with you. And I got to know you only now. But my parents are academicians. They've been in the place you have been. And I understand the feeling that they have when they see a student. They're truly, as teachers, selfless. And they feel very good when they meet an old student who just acknowledges their presence and sometimes their contributions. So tell us, how did you feel, Mr. Saini, when an ex-student kind of found you out, expressed his gratitude, and then followed up with a, if I may say, a Guru Dakshina?
Actually, Mr. Batra, Mr. Vaidyanathan called me on Teachers' Day. So that day it was this thing, exchange of pleasantries that, "Sir, how are you? This thing, Teachers' Day, good luck to you. I'm grateful." He paid me respect. Next day he called me and he said, "Sir, I want your account number." I told him I don't have any account. Next day, again he called me. "Sir, I really want your account number." I said, I don't have any account because all my papers are in Agra. I'm at Pathankot. I really don't have any account number. But he being so smart, he said, I can't persist with my request to sir. He put his personal assistant on the job, Miss Sujata, she would call me daily and request me, sir, wants your account number. Sir, could you kindly share it with him? Persistently, she called me for 10, 20, 15 days. Then I give him my account number. But I never knew that he will send uh, such a heavy this thing gift or something that, but it was a surprise. He never told me that I'm going to gift you so many shares. I never expected, and I would have not accepted. But after he gave me a surprise, I came to know from the this thing videos and other people who called me. I use the same Mr. Gurdial Saroop. There are a lot of news about you, Mr. Vaidyanathan. One IDFC MD has given you 1 lakh shares. Then next day I called Mr. Vaidyanathan. This is too much. I really don't deserve, and you should have not done this. What his response was, sir, you just can't imagine how happy I am to share my happiness with you. It is my gratitude only, and you can't say no to me. It is expression of my gratitude and my respect for you. Please accept it. Otherwise, I'll feel guilty. So then I said, yes, कोई बात नहीं, बच्चे ने दे दिया तो रख लो. What I'm saying is, it is his greatness. I had almost forgotten that episode of lending him some money, because after I gave him the money, his father had already returned me that money through bank draft. And he sent me a letter giving me thanks that you helped my son at that time of his requirement. I am grateful to you. So that episode was over for me. Maybe because of the culture in which he had been brought up, that he did all this and made me a celebrity. Because of him, I am sitting before you. Otherwise, nobody knew me actually. Nobody knew me actually. His greatness, I am here. And through him, so many people know me.
Thank you, Mr. Gurdial Saroop Saini, for being such a nurturer of talent and being such a honest, humble, and truly great man. I think honesty, humility makes a person, and simplicity makes a person great. And both you and Mr. Vaidyanathan have set examples by doing what you've done as a teacher and what he's done as a student. I hope more people learn from the relationship that you both have, and I'm sure it acts as an impetus for students who've done well to recognize their teachers and to express their gratitude in whatever.
Mr. Batra, I would like to add one more line.
Absolutely, sir.
I have one very close friend of mine. He's in education. He congratulated me and told me, Mr. Saini, what Mr. Vaidyanathan has done is an inspiration for the whole students community.
Absolutely.
That's what he said. Then he said, it is a motivation for the teacher community to dedicate themselves for the cause of education. This is what he said.
Yes, absolutely.
Another friend of mine came to my house, very old friend of 40 years when we were in college. He came to my house with his wife, and we exchanged pleasantries, and he said, about me, he was saying, I know you are a worthless person. You don't deserve this, but hats off to your student. And he told me that I'm going to buy one, I don't have much money, but I'm going to buy 1,000 shares of IDFC Bank. I said, why should you buy IDFC Bank? What prompts you? His reply was, a CEO and MD who has such ethics is definitely going to progress.
What a beautiful assessment. And right,
He said,
what a
he
beautiful
said,
question.
he said, the person don't have greed. He has such good, strong character that he is after a teacher to give him respect. If such is the person who is the head of the organization, that organization has to flourish. I don't have any doubt in that. That was his feeling for Mr. Vaidyanathan. Really, many people are talking to me, congratulating me, but at the same time saying he is really an example. He's He's one of those ideals of KBS, ideal KVN, who who has who has such regard and gratitude for his teacher. I'm really proud of my student, and I'm really proud that I had been his teacher.
Thank you so much. I think it's a great feeling. And as your friend rightly said, it will put more responsibility and enthusiasm in teachers to do their job of nurturing even better, selflessly, which most teachers do. And second, Mr. Vaidyanathan has shown that gratitude is due to teachers, and we should do it more often. Both of you have set examples in your own ways. So I congratulate both of you. And I'm truly touched and inspired by the story. And I have lots of teachers to give gratitude to, both in my convent school, in my engineering school, in my business school. Definitely my parents, who themselves are academicians and have been my teachers. So really, it's a it's a wake up call for a lot of students to be able to recognize the people who really nurtured them. And gratitude is a beautiful force. The more you express gratitude, the more blessed you get. And blessings are not just about money. Blessings are about abundance. Blessings make you feel happy. Uh, and as Mr. Vaidyanathan said, the joy of giving is a big joy. It cannot be replaced by anything. So I really salute both of you, and I wish you luck. I have no doubt that the 1 lakh shares that are worth almost 30 lakhs right now, but I'm sure in a couple of years they'll be worth much more, maybe a crore, maybe even more. So it's the gesture that matters and not the values. So thank you so much for being a great role model for teachers. And I wish Mr. Vaidyanathan was also on the same broadcast. And I would like to congratulate Mr. Vaidyanathan for being a great student and being a great role model for the society and the business world. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
I hope someday I get an opportunity to meet you and touch your feet and seek your blessings.
Thank you, Mr. Batra. I don't really deserve that, but because of you that I am here, and because of your persuasion that I became willing to be on in front of media. Otherwise, I don't think I would have
planting more trees. We've taken your time for planting more trees.
I had been busy in that. I had been busy in that job only.
Thank you so much.
Your greatness.
I genuinely mean it. I genuinely mean it. Someday I come by and meet you. For those viewers who missed the full conversation, log on to bweducation.com and its YouTube page, and you can see the full transcript, read the full transcript, see the full video, and get inspired by this truly inspiring relationship between a teacher and a student. So we give our regards to you. We congratulate you. We wish you great health, and we look forward to talking to you soon again. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gurdial Saroop Saini. You're an inspiration and role model for a lot of people. And thank you, Mr. Vaidyanathan, for being the great student and the great role model and professional that you have been. Thank you. God bless you. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.